Hi, this is Terry from Fabric Junction in the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. And today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way of making a 4-patch, especially if you're using scrap. As you can see, I have a nice little table runner here. This was done out of scrap, and this is part of my scrap pile that it came from. The technique on making this 4-patch, instead of me sitting there cutting little square after little square, you sew 2 strips together, and as you can see, they don't match. That's okay, because I've got this nifty little tool that I've already taped so that I can remember what size I'm doing. I went through and found that I could cut a 4.5, whoops, I got my tool on there backwards, strip out of these, no matter which 2 I picked up. The tool is based on the finish. So the nice thing about this is you line it up on your stitch line and cut. So if you happen to make wider than you need, or you narrow a little bit narrow, this will compensate for all that. Once you have both of them to the same size. We're not as concerned about the length. Trim the little extra off. To get my scrappy, I took my pieces, and as you can see, I've been sewing them end to end, which I will again sew end to end, because I want a really scrappy look for all mine. So there's one, and then I sewed it again so that now it's in a big circle. And I discovered that I pressed one of them the wrong direction, but that's okay. For right now, I'm just going to line it back up. See where I'm at. There we go. So once I had that sewn, I could take that little fold, line up my seam allowance, line up my line on my seam allowance. Sometimes it's a little hard to get used to since we're so used to lining everything up different, but line it up on my seam allowance. Hopefully I picked the right one. But I marked the right one. There we go. Nice little square. So now I can take my next one and do the same thing. And I can keep doing this with all my scraps of sewing 2 together, adding them, re-sew them together until eventually I have nothing left but a nice little pile of 4-patch. If you don't want a scrappy one, which I have a quilt that I'm going to need specific ones, I did the same thing. These are 2.5-inch strips already cut, ready to go. You sew them in a circle, and now I'll cut off the end, find my tape mark. I use painter's tape to mark my ruler so I don't have to remember every time where I need to go to get my 4-patch. In this case, I sew each end, line it up, cut, and there's another 4-patch. And then what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll sew these 2 ends again, and I'll keep doing it until I run out of strip. And then now you can make whatever you want. This one's going into a specific quilt that needs the 2-color 4-patch. I press after I cut, of course, get them to lay. And then this one, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I will make a bunch of squares and put it into something. Hopefully you like having the quick way to make a 4-patch using the Turbo 4-patch We do carry them in the store. It makes a variety of sizes from your even numbers to your quarter numbers, your halves, your 3/4. But the key to it is you get to line up on your seam. So if this seam gets a little wide, you still end up with the size that you're looking for. So have fun quilting. If you're in Sturgis, stop by the store. We'd love to see you. If not, join us online at junctionfabric.com. Again, thank you for watching.